Yeah, I think that was very good. I was watching on Peacock, which is a little bit different than watching on the television, I've noticed.
Yeah.
But the one thing that I think I have a bit of a just a hope for more is when Scott was leading by like 3 or 4 seconds, and there was, the battle at the front wasn't necessarily super sporty. It was just kind of like, all right, we've got this guy doing this. Scott pulled away. Some people are on different tires. And then after the restart where, Pelot was on a different strategy and he was kind of gone back, and so did Linus, a couple different things. But I still think there can be way more attention to what is going on other than what's the first five. Like, I feel like I watched that race and I didn't hear a single thing about either of the Juncos cars. I didn't hear a single thing about any of the cars that ran basically in the middle of the pack. And if we all of a sudden we came to one shot, and because Renus had cycled forward on an aggressive strategy, he pitted like lap 1. He did the ultimate undercut, which I knew they love doing that. And it worked out. Like, he got the yellow exactly when he wanted it. That's exactly how that strategy is supposed to play out. If it does well, boom, cycle to the front. But all of a sudden there was a moment where, like, I'm looking at the gaps on the timing side. Like, you're looking at, okay, position. Yeah. Scott's got a 4-second lead. He's got something lead on someone else. And like, all of a sudden they go to this camera shot and Renus is like holding up 7 cars. And it's like this super tight line of cars, just nose to tail. And that was when him and Rossi came together too. And I was like, could we have not seen this like a little bit earlier? Like, maybe, hey, let's see how this battle is developing. I talked to Alex after the race, and like, I guess Renus had used every bit of overtake he possibly had before even halfway. Like, he had 20 seconds left of overtake at halfway. So that means there was a lot of defending. There was a lot of attacking going on. And I didn't see any of it. Like, there's part of what makes IndyCar so great. And again, I've been a part of a lot of these midfield battles, sadly this year. But there's a lot of great racing going on. There's like, Callum Ilott finished 12th. That's great for that small team. You know what I mean? Never saw him once. You know what I mean? Like, I was like, what's going? Marcus Ericsson went from 20th to 7th, you know what I mean? Or 20th to the top 10. Like, where were some of those moves, like, at the beginning of the race? And there's a lot of cars to keep up with. But the one thing I noticed is, like, man, we just saw so much of the first 3 cars, which, again, that's great. But because obviously we're competing to win, but I also want to make sure that every position matters. It really does. Like, all these positions matter for the points, for the leader circle championship. And there's so many good drivers like battling throughout the field. So that is one thing that I wish they had a bit more of a heads up on, especially even during some of the starts and restarts. Like, because sometimes the first 4 cars, like, they get going, but like, man, that midfield is just packed tight. So again, I'm not a television director, obviously. I don't know what's going on. I just have an appreciation for the racing that's happening everywhere in the field. And, our TV broadcasters are good enough. Townsend, Lee, Hinch, those guys are good enough to be like, oh, boom, here we go. Pass for 14th. Like, it's still important. It's still motor racing. And then you can be like, all right, yeah, here's Scott still leading by 4 seconds. Like, I don't really care at that point. I just want to see something. Give me some action. Let me see who's close. You know what I mean? And I mean, I understand that it's like, it's important to focus on the leaders because that's who's going to win the race, right? But like, I just would like more coverage of what's going on. That's all. Because I see the same freaking people the whole time. And I'm like, yeah, I know Scott's leading. I know, the Kyle Kirkwood story was one of the best stories because, he kind of had to cycle forward, made a couple moves. The strategy element was awesome. But yeah, that was kind of my initial thought of like, let's just see some more motor racing.
Yeah, the only time that I remember hearing Callum Ilott's name was when he was mistaken for Augustin Canapino.
In the wall, yeah.
when they had that pile up and Canapino was just parked there, And I think it was Townsend, or I can't remember who it was, but I mean, the cars look so similar that all of a sudden there was a Callum Ilott, and it was like, oh no, wait, that's Canapino. So
Yeah.
to your point, he has a solid day, finishes 12th, and then the only time that I really remember hearing about him was then. Now, it is a full broadcast, so I know we're going to get the tweeters and everybody trying to probably go tattletale and report back to Lee Diffie or Hinch or somebody. Oh, Speed Street's ripping on your butt. I know that.
Oh, it's not them. Yeah, it's not them. We're just talking
right.
about, hey, we're race fans, right? This is what we think. Hey, I would like to see some more of that racing if that's possible. But again, not our jobs, right? I don't work in that industry.
Hey, maybe a little alternate broadcast, the Manning cast for football or K-Rod for baseball. You got all sorts of players only lounge or whatever for the NBA. Maybe we can have kind of an alternate version to make it to where people maybe want to pay some more for Peacock or want to, entice them for that $5. They say, hey, you get the regular broadcast. And then, oh, by the way, maybe get middle of the pack. And then it's like, if Conor's not racing, it's me and Conor. And we're talking about the battles in there or something. I don't know. Just an idea. Also, NBC Peacock, I'm available. So
there you go. Yeah. And also Formula One has actually done this to us, right? Because Formula One, there is no battle for the lead. So they know that they have to focus on who's getting in the points. You know what I mean? What's the battle for 10th, 11th, 12th look like? And to be fair, when I watch a Formula One race, some of that is actually entertaining because there is motor racing, right? There's some overtaking. Their overtaking is a little bit kind of more not as exciting, but it's something that we kind of almost have to adapt from Formula One. Like, look, as soon as the leader's got more than a 2-second lead, give me something else. You know what I mean? Because 2 seconds, that the guy behind is not in attack mode. It is what it is. Give me something else. Just because there's enough people around that track too to be like, hey, whoa, we got 4 cars running, wing to wing, and this could be exciting. And there's people all over the field. You had Marcus Ericsson starting 20th. You had all these different guys starting all over the place. Get Colton Herta when he's coming back through the field. Get out. Like, I would have loved to have seen Alex Palou when he restarted kind of deep in the field when they made that pit stop. You know what I mean? Like, hey, let's get a Palou cam. Like, that's our championship leader. I know he's not first right now, but let's just see it. I don't know. That's my only opinion. It's, again, not a bad thing. Like, I enjoy the broadcast. I did enjoy it. But there were a couple times where I'm just like, man, I think we could, if I look at the gaps on track, you literally see what cars are close to each other. And I was like, I would like to see what's going on there. You know what I mean? I'm curious, and I'm a race fan.